we just had a very casual discussion, and then Amagaru was saying to me then that there are really great souls who are waiting to come onto this earth to work for the betterment of this planet. But unfortunately, the womb energies, they are unable to hold them or to support them. Amagaru has suggested me that we have to come out with a program of Garbhasanskar. I never thought that there could be something which Amagaru is planning. Basically, Amagaru is for the upliftment of the soul, aathmanandamayi. It's described in Krishna Veda, but again it has been adopted in our Ayurvedic line of medicine. So it's there in the Ayurvedic textbooks, Samskar. They bring about a change in the genetic expression without changing the gene sequence.
How can expecting mothers and fathers maintain the sanctity in their daily lives through thoughts, sounds, food and emotions?
That is what our Guru aathmanandamayi Mataji is also applying to the 21st century couples to have the best children.
Namaskaram, Om Sushumna. Welcome to our podcast, Vitarāga viśayam. Today's podcast, we are talking about the topic Garbhasanskar, and we have with us senior gynecologist Dr. Madhushri Garu. He is also one of the first disciples of Sri aathmanandamayi Amagaru. Om Sushumna, welcome to the podcast, Madhushri Garu.
Om Sushumna Shruti. Thank you.
Madhushri Garu, can you just tell us a little bit about the Garbhasanskar program which we have started at the divyababaji Sushumna Kriya Foundation?
Actually, the thought of Garbhasanskar, the discussion between me and Amagaru happened in 2015, month of November. We just had a casual discussion, and then Amagaru was saying to me then that there are really great souls, evolved souls, more pure souls who are waiting to come onto this earth to work for the betterment of this planet. But unfortunately, the womb energies, they are unable to actually hold them or to support them. Then I just heard, I never thought that there could be something which Amagaru is planning for this. And then around 2022 sometime, Amagaru has suggested me that we have to come out with a program of Garbhasanskar. And this Garbhasanskar is our Vedic science. It's actually from Krishna Yajurveda.
Wow.
It's described in Krishna Yajurveda, but again it has been adopted in our Ayurvedic line of medicine. So it's there in the Ayurvedic textbooks, this Garbhasanskar. So we need to start this. But then what Amagaru told me is, you have to bring it out in a scientific way, because this is being given for the 21st century youth.
Yes.
So, yes, you have to give it in a scientific way, but we are not going to deviate from the Vedic science of Garbhasanskar. We had to work out. It was all guidance of our Guru Puja Sri aathmanandamayi Mataji Garu. So, astrally, she was guiding me. Because frankly, to tell you the truth, Shruti, when Amagaru suggested me the name of Garbhasanskar, no, I really had no idea. And actually, it was not an idea, but I thought, how could we do something like this? What the Vedic era has practiced, how can we get into this 21st century modern era?
Correct.
Sushumna Kriya Yoga and our divyababaji Sushumna Kriya Yoga Foundation, we have got very strict principles. And Amagaru never deviates from those principles, because aathmanandamayi Amagaru, she is here only to uplift the souls.
Yes.
She doesn't have anything to do with our worldly
material possessions.
Correct. Of course, see, we are in this society. That's what Amagaru says. We are in the society and we are all leading a social life. So our social life or the materialistic needs, definitely they influence our spiritual path,
yes.
our spiritual journey.
Yes.
So in that way, gurus take care of our materialistic needs also, to that extent which is needed for us to go smoothly ahead in our spiritual journey. But otherwise, basically, Amagaru is for the upliftment of the soul. Atmagnana, what she gives us is Atmagnana, and she guides us only in that journey. Because since I was with Amagaru, I was traveling since 2005, December. That was the time.
Yes. And you are one of the foremost disciples.
Yeah, because Sushumna was handed over to mankind on September 7th, 2005. And I happened to get initiated in the month of December on 2005.
Yes.
And then from then my journey started. So even when we look back 2022, I have journeyed around 17 years with Guruma. So yeah, I know what exactly our gurus want to deliver to us.
Correct.
So I was just puzzled. How can this happen? Because when I went through certain texts and reference and all, there was a lot of chantings, some mantras. It was all like that.
Yes.
But then from that stage of which was a total confusion, I was totally zero in that knowledge. But then it happened slowly, and I'm really thankful to our Guru aathmanandamayi Mataji Garu, how wonderfully she has conceived this program. And as per her wish, yes, it falls exactly on the scientific principles.
Yes. So that is where I wanted to touch, because you are a modern doctor. So how do you connect relevance to a new mother that has just conceived a baby, practicing certain sanskars that would have these impressions on a soul that is growing within in her womb?
Actually, Shruti, the samskars or our traditional practices, none of them are orthodox. The true practices, they are not orthodox. They have a very strong scientific basis. But when they're being passed out through so many generations, the science, I would like to, my opinion is, in the old age, the science was not much known to the general people. But our sages, they are called the spiritual scientists, our siddhas, they are the spiritual scientists. They knew everything of what the modern science has come to know, and even far beyond what the modern science knows. Our spiritual scientists they have understood all the scientific principles, but somehow they wanted it to be handed over to the human. Everything was for the upliftment of the mankind. So somehow they want each one of us to practice them and benefit from them. But since scientific knowledge was not as rampant as it's in the present day, so they just tried to put it in good and bad, papam, punyam, or something like that. They used to do God and evil. They just related. So the positive benefits to the positive thing, and the negative benefits to something like evil, or it's not going to do good, it's papam, or something like that. That's how they try to see that by hook or by crook, we practice and get the benefits out of it.
Yes.
But now, since fortunately we are in this 21st century where the science, the modern science has opened up so much to each one of us. Each one of us, we have the approach to get the scientific knowledge. So all these principles are being opened up to us now in a scientific way.
Ma'am, I have some questions for you. It says in the Garba Upanishad, the mind of the parents at the time of conception shapes the consciousness of the child. How much does a parent's emotional and mental state during conception truly influence the kind of soul that enters the womb?
Actually, it's not just at the time of conception. It's called a preparedness. So the couple, they should first prepare themselves to bring down a soul. Because the whole process of conception, pregnancy, and giving birth, it's not a medical event. So we shouldn't see it as a chance event. It should be a chosen event. So both the couples, they should be aware, they should be mindful that they are actually nurturing a soul. They have the responsibility. It's a great responsibility on the part of the couple, that they are helping the soul to blossom and to unlock its hidden potential. So once they are aware of it, then they start preparing. Because until we are aware, we can't prepare. So once the preparedness starts, then conception is one event in this whole journey of nurturing and blossoming the soul.
That's very interesting, ma'am. And also, I think in our Purana Kathas, we have stories of Abhimanyu, sage Ashtavakra, and also Prahalada. Yeah, and these actually give us some pramana to believe that, yes, the soul is attracted to the energy of the parents, and the mother kind of creates the right environment for this soul to kind of even take on its evolution during the 9 months when it's inside the womb.
What you have said now is perfectly, it's true. And as I've been telling you previously, say the preparedness has to start once the youth, they have decided to start a family. Like when they get an idea, when they get a thought that maybe it's the right time to get married, it is then they should start thinking about, because once married, no, the next goal of marriage would be definitely to start a family, to raise a family. So it should start from then. But our Amagaru, Aathmanandamayi Mataji garu, what she tells is, it should start from the youth itself. So not just the moment they get the thought that, okay, I'm ready for marriage. It's not just then. It should start even early, because the more early the practices start, the best will be the results. And as you said, the emotional quotient of the couple on the baby or during the conception. Yes, emotions play a very great role. And if I have to put this all into science, now this whole concept of Garbhasanskar, this has been conceived on the principles of epigenetics. So the science of epigenetics, which is very new to the modern man, this is what is happening. The recent happening in the science is epigenetics, but it's not new to us. This epigenetics was known in the Vedic era. The spiritual scientists, as I've been telling, the Siddharthas, they knew this epigenetics, and based on this scientific principle, they have conceived this Garbhasanskar program. So a little about for everyone to know about epigenetics in a very simple way. So epigenetics is that science which tells us that the thoughts of human beings, their behavior, their attitudes, and then the lifestyles and the environment which surrounds them. So that means whatever genes you have inherited from your ancestors or your parents, no, the genes will be the same. So if you take a genetic mapping, the genetic mapping is the same. But how these genes express, that changes. So it is like the genes have an on and off mechanism. So depending on all these, our thoughts, our attitudes, then our lifestyles, our environment, all of them, now they look into whether the particular gene has to be turned on or they have to be turned off. So that is called expression. Now, depending on that expression, now we project ourselves. And the science says that whatever this expression, the change in the genetic expression is happening, now this is heritable. That means this can be passed on to the next generations. Once, when I was explaining about this epigenetics application, Garbhasanskar, so the students, like I go to the medical colleges, I meet the gynec departments where the PGs and the doctors, I meet them and I try to explain to them about Garbhasanskar, because they are the first point, the better points to actually take forward this program, this wonderful program. So once when I was explaining, some of the students, they expressed that, ma'am, doesn't it take long time? Because you're telling that the gene change has to happen. Maybe it takes long time. So here, what we have to notice, the cells maximum period is with 90 days. The cells, they start multiplying or dividing. So at the time of division, whatever the expression is being carried in that cell, the same expression will be transferred to the next cell which has divided, a new cell which has formed out of division.
That's wonderful. So what you're saying is the first 3 months is extremely crucial.
It's not just 3 months, Ashruti. I'm speaking about the preparedness.
Oh, correct.
It starts from the preparedness.
Yes.
Because here the parents are also the same epigenetics, because here there is a program for the parents also.
Correct.
In Sushumna Samskar, we call it as Amrit Garba stage. So there they are given some guidance of how to practice, how should they be thoughts and what have to practice, so that See, this preparedness is very important. In the beginning, what I told is the womb energies.
Yes.
So the mother, when she starts preparing, or the mother to be, when she starts preparing with these practices, what Amagaru has conceived, then the womb energy, it increases. And then exactly the soul which is vibrating with the same womb energy, it will be attracted into that womb. So even before conception, the couple which are practicing this Amrit Garba of Sushumna Kriya Samskar, now they will be inviting already evolved souls, already pure souls, already Samskar souls into them. And then later on, with the following, during pregnancy, what all practices they follow of Garbhasanskar, it will become very easy and it will be a double benefit to them.
Yes. What you're saying is actually evoking something in me. The autobiography of a yogi, for everyone who has read it. Paramahamsa Yogananda, I think in the first chapter, he speaks about his mother having a conversation with his eldest sister, that she and her husband were initiated into Kriya Yoga, and they had taken on the discipline so seriously that she and her husband would only come together in the sacred union once a year, only to create a child. And now it reminds me, maybe that's why her womb energies were so strong that she was able to hold a divine being like Paramahamsa Yogananda, who's able to do so much work in the world today, even after he's left his physical body. His transmission still exists so powerfully, and so much of humankind is benefiting from the power of meditation and Kriya Yoga.
Yeah, that's exactly correct, Shruti. And that is what we are also, our Guru aathmanandamayi Mataji Gar is also applying to the 21st century
Right.
Couples,
Right.
to have the best children.
So, ma'am, the ancient texts describe the womb as a Garba Griha, a sacred space like the sanctum of a temple. How can expecting mothers and fathers maintain the sanctity in their daily lives through thoughts, sounds, food, and emotions? What kind of thoughts should these kind of parents have?
Not only just the parents, like the couple who are actually planning to have a baby, each one of us also, we should always be in a positive thought process, because human thought is very powerful. Now, there was a saying that we would have heard, that thoughts manifest. And in our own Telugu language, we have yadbhavam tadbhavati. So whatever is your thought, the result also goes along with it.
Correct.
But actually, the modern science, it has something very interesting to tell about thoughts. So what they say is, it's not thoughts manifesting, thoughts work through you. Yeah. So this is also a science. How thoughts work is a science. So every thought which is coming out from us, it stimulates certain neurotransmitters and neuropeptides. So what happens to them? These neurotransmitters, the chemicals of the peptides, so they travel inside us and they reach every cell of the body. Because what are we? Ultimately, when we trace down the unit, we are one cell.
Yes.
So all these transmitters, the neurotransmitters, which are stimulated by a particular thought, they reach the cell. And when the same neurotransmitter or the peptide is reaching the cell for a good number of times, that means when you're making the same thought repeatedly for a good number of times, then the cell will make a memory of that peptide which is knocking it.
Wow.
And once the memory has formed, now the cells start working towards that memory.
Wonderful.
So this is how thoughts work through us. So we should always be in a positive thinking. We should develop positive thought process. We should be optimistic, whatever be the situation. So only when we are optimistic, we can get a better result. Correct. Of the situation which was previously may not be very encouraging to us. But still, our thought can change the output of that situation.
Correct.
And it happens on the flip side also.
Yeah.
Whatever be the situation, even though the situation is encouraging to you, but if you are not confident, if you're not taking it in a positive thing, then the result will also automatically be on the other side. So thoughts are very, very powerful. So all of us, we should develop to maintain a positive thought process. But Shruti, it's not as easy as we are telling this.
Yes.
When it comes to practicality, it's not very easy.
Yes.
But then here, in this our program of Sushumna Samskar, our Guruma has given two very, very strong weapons to help us be in the positive thought process. And so the first one is regular, that is consistent and disciplined practice of Sushumna Kriya Yoga.
Yes.
Along with that, introspection.
Yes.
That is reflecting on yourself, on your thoughts, on your days, on your intentions. That is introspection. And these two, if practiced, then definitely we can, not just can, it just happens. We flow with a positive thought process.
Very powerful.
It's very powerful. So this whole program of our Sushumna Garbhasanskar, it's all based on 6 pillars. So the first is regular and disciplined practice of Sushumna Kriya Yoga, to be in positive thinking. And then the third one is to bond. We have got certain practices. The third pillar is bonding with the unborn baby. That's the third one. Fourth one is we have got certain practices. The pillar is practices which help for healthy development of the brain, which in turn, it increases the IQ of the baby in the womb. And yes, food and lifestyle changes. See, these are all lifestyles only. But food changes, food and nutrition is one other pillar. And the most very easy and which has lot of benefits is Vedic chant. But let me tell you, the Vedic chant in Sushumna Garbhasanskar is the simple Om chant. No other mantras or no chanting of anything, just Om chant. So these are the main 6 pillars of Sushumna Garbhasanskar program.
So when we talk about food, people think it's about what we are putting into our mouth. But every thought that we generate or every thought that we receive and put into our system, what we watch, what we see, what we hear is also food, right? But it is subtle food.
Exactly.
And every thought, just like physical food that we eat, has an output because we take the nourishment and we leave the rest out. The same thought, the subtle thought that we create also has an outcome in the form of an emotion.
Yes, exactly.
That is emotion. This is an emotion.
Emotion, yes.
And this emotion, if we are having good emotions, like we are experiencing love, joy, happiness, no jealousy, or feeling of oneness, then we know that our aura, we can almost feel that strength within us. And I think I am a pramana to that after I have started Sushumna Kriya Yoga, I have greatly benefited from having positive thoughts, being able to generate positive emotions for myself because I live in this body and I have to cater to my negative thoughts when it has a negative, outcome on me. So what you're saying is very, very powerful. And I really hope couples or youth who are listening to this podcast can take immediate action towards and responsibility towards their own thoughts and emotions and bring about a change in their own life. Because this is life transforming.
Exactly. It's like, like to have an asset rather than liability. So my intention of having is children. To have children who become their assets rather than liabilities. So if every couple wants to have something, really wants to make an asset out of their children, then yes, this is the best way. Everyone have to take up this Sushumna Garbhasanskar programs even before conception. It's good, but as the saying says, better late than never. So at least it's good to start during pregnancy. All the Garbhasanskar practices. As you have said, it's not just you who have benefited. I can say that everyone who are practicing Sushumna Kriya Yoga, each one of us, we have experienced a tremendous change within us.
Absolutely.
And we all acknowledge this, and we are all very grateful to our Guruma and our Gurus who have actually given us this practice, which is very, very simple.
Absolutely.
And if I have to speak about Sushumna Garbhasanskar also, all the modules, that is all the practices which are being advised in this program, they are very, very simple. Very simple. And the beauty of this is, any belief, anyone with any belief they can easily practice this program. It is not just the Hindu community which can practice this, but anyone in this world, every couple or every youth who are motivated to get the best souls as their children. Everyone can practice, irrespective of what their belief system is.
Irrespective of their faith, because the science is we are all the same human body. We
Yes.
all share the same mind that
Yes.
can bring in memory, hold memory
Yes.
from the past and the environment. And this particular program can really help cleanse our samskaras and, create the right energy to attract the right womb. So it absolutely makes sense.
Exactly. And one also have to understand, when it comes to Garbhasanskar, it is all about its capacitating, grooming, nurturing, and enhancing the inner core of the human, inner core of the soul, which is shaping into a baby. So this has nothing to do with the external features.
Correct.
So all the strengthening the inner core, that is Garbhasanskar.